Hello, this is supposed to be my yard renovation victory lap, but I'm having some kind of problems with this camera. Where this is like about my fourth attempt here, and this is looking insanely overexposed, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what's up with this thing. I did a big firmware update on it yesterday. I formatted the SD card. We'll just have to see how it goes. So basically, all of the yard is complete. I'm just waiting for it to cool down to paint the outside, and I'm going to buy 4 more trees that are over on the sunny side. So we're just waiting for it to cool down. I think this is the best angle of this house, actually. It looks really nice from here. We're just going to try to make note of everything that's been done here. And here's another solar stake. It's like, okay, this entire perimeter of this yard had dozens upon dozens upon dozens of rusty rebars with mismatched solar lights perched on them, and also like all over the top of the house. And they were all different brands and colors and shapes and sizes. Most of them didn't work. I had something like a 50-gallon like contractor trash bag that ended up being nearly full of all these solar lights. And it was horrible because they were eye level, so you'd come out here and they would actually kill your night vision and you couldn't see shit. So there's one left. That one is the last one standing. So all the gravel is brand new. I kind of moved these rocks over. I didn't even try to make these straight. I don't even care. But oh my God, this was such a mess. This was dirt. This was dirty dirt and some rags over by the Mary, some old rotten stuff, and all around the perimeter, everywhere, was 2 rows of loose bricks, not set or anything, just sitting there, and then just dirty debris. It was like a little mini dump, so there was all hunks of broken tile and brick and pottery, and then this whole driveway was about 8 feet smaller than it is right now, and you can't pull into the garage here the way it is. I almost did it one day. I was so close. I should have got out of the car and looked. I mean, I was within half an inch of either scraping the car or making it. Still not sure. I just decided to back up and redo it. That path there also came way out into the driveway, and I actually had them tuck it in there, so there's a path here where you can actually drive the car without scraping the sides of your car. There was some big ugly, here again, the bricks were all here. There was a couple ugly overgrown, probably mesquite or other garbage trees here hanging into the driveway. This thing hanging into the driveway, I took that whole chunk off that. That thing hanging into the driveway, hanging into the path. There was all mesquite saplings over there, scratchy as fuck, hanging into the driveway. Like, the driveway here is so tiny, and it was so restricted by this just garbage trees, untrimmed, total mess. So all this stuff is taken out of here. And all new gravel, basically a brand new driveway, redesigned, brand new driveway, so clean. Everything is flat and flush. There's like a 6-inch step there with the tile and the path. The rock didn't go up there. The rock didn't go all the way to the back. I trimmed all these. I watered them. It was gonna be so much fun to watch these turn green. You can see some of the green wires coming out on this one, but that jackrabbit comes and just takes every mouthful, every single thing, every little green wire gone, deleted. That thing is crazy. I got to pick up that little pile of stuff though. I'm trying to keep a nice buffer of nothing all around here. There was rebar and wire embedded in some of these, which took some of the joy out of trimming those, because those were they were so satisfying to give a haircut to, but the cleanup very messy. A giant acacia. This was the very last thing to be done over here. This had like a 4-foot sheer drop off here. So like I said, you have to pull up to this garage and then back up and then straighten her out and get it in there. And all you'd have to do is, you know, one little moment of inattention and this would actually wreck any car or truck. It was just a sheer drop off there. This is the only brick that's set in the mortar. The other ones are just in the ground. These are actually mortared. And I think a natural wash had come through here at one point and dug this ditch and sharp around this corner so that it was really scraped out there. So all this excess shit, this was all piled up in the yard, the bricks and the rock, the whole, I don't know what, that was all pulled out of here. I dumped it all in here. This very bad trench that was here, all my other debris, I just kept piling it here and piling it here and piling it here. And at the very end, this little bit of stuff that was left over just got pushed over so it's filled in. And this is the thing I can't even stop looking at it. It's like so clean because there's debris piles across the street, 2 big debris piles there, massive, like, I don't know, crater right here, 2, 3 big debris piles right there. All of this garbage is just gone. And so when the wind blows, and the wind always blows, it just blows everything right away. So as far as maintenance goes, there's nothing. There's nothing here. I don't know. I got like 12 hunks of AstroTurf. I'm gonna go around the other way. Everything trimmed nice. I hope this thing's still here. It's still here. This tree made 1 berry. I don't know what this is. It's some kind of desert native, but I don't recognize it from Arizona. It smells delicious. It smells like, I don't know, cloves or something. Like you want to just eat this tree. It smells so good. And I've watered it and watered it. It only makes tiny leaves and 1 berry. That's all you get is that one. Nobody's eating it, so I assume that's some kind of deadly poison. I'm tempted to eat it. It looks good. It started out greener and it got more yellow. Yeah, let's go the other way. Brand new garage door. Totally replaced. I need to do the trim. I have the trim, I just haven't done it yet. I want to paint the garage door first. That's already on my quote, so we'll see. I got to go through the touch-up paint, and if I have enough, I might take a whack at that. We'll see. This is all new. This was gravel. Switched it up and made it AstroTurf. I'm waiting for a bottle so I can seal that up so the bees can't suck off that mini split teat. I'm like tired of that bees here. All right, I definitely had a problem with digging here, which I thought I solved, but the dog wants to do it too. I had to dig this whole area out, and this is lined with 1/4-inch vinyl coated hardware cloth. And actually there, they still tried to dig. They actually digged the vinyl off the stuff. They kept trying and trying and trying. I kept trapping and trapping and trapping. I used my cat sense, and my bait got robbed. I got a little mousy trap. My bait got robbed. Finally, I went with a glue trap, which is, I think, very inhumane. And I got a tiny little gray mouse, so tiny. And also I had bad digging, just incessant blind digging that would not stop. Over against that wall, you can see where the paint kind of doesn't come up there all the way. Just nonstop digging. So that's all thick hardware cloth underneath there too. And now they still kind of dig a little bit, but they can't go anywhere. That one, the glue trap ended up over here, and somebody like ate part of it, and some of it was like stuck to the ground here. I don't even know how to clean that up, so it's just kind of stuck there. So yeah, all the little broken ass solar lights are gone off there. This area, this wall was actually over like a foot more, so I had it moved out, and actually the 2 bottom boards came out, so I had those cut off. So now I love this. I was gonna have it painted to match the house, but I actually kind of just love the way it looks, the colors of it and everything. It's just very pleasing, and it's just big enough where I can get my little cart in here. So this is my gardening area. The dryer vent is new. There was no vent for the dryer. It was just loose in the garage. It's a gas dryer, but still, that's nasty. I don't see any new digging in here, so hopefully we're done with that. I'm going to hang that rake up because that rake has to be stored flat or it doesn't work. I'm going to buy a new rake, but I only use that for garbage raking out there to keep that clean. I don't know. I hope there's nothing stinky there. Whew. Yeah, this tree was like out to here. It was out, it came way out here. You had to scrape your head against it to walk here. I was going to have it pulled out of there, but now this tree also smells delicious. It smells like cedar. It just is so aromatic. I think that one branch that was rubbing at the house is going to have to come. Whoever planted this, I think, planted it in the bag. When you get plants here, instead of them coming in that black pot, they come in like a very heavy, like almost, I would say like thicker maybe than 10 mil, even something like a 20 mil black little sack. And somebody just put that sack in the ground. So I think that's why those roots are looking so bad and stuff, and I don't even know if the roots are able to poke out of that bag. I wish, if I had more time, I wish I would have dug that down a little bit and made sure there was some cuts in that so the roots could get out, but the AstroTurf people were coming the next day, and I wanted to lift all this gravel out of here, because this one area had gravel, and I just thought that would look weird and unbalanced if this area was still gravel, so I pulled it all out of here, and this was before the gravel was done, and there's big holes back there, and I dumped it down there. Some of that gravel was like a foot deep back there. There was no gravel there, so yeah, so this is all nice and flat. All these little AstroTurfy areas. Got my pigeon spikes out there to keep this from happening down here. I just haven't had a chance to scrub that. There's no hose bib in the front. There's 3 hose bibs on the side and the patio in the back, but there's not one right here, so I just haven't scrubbed here yet. This thing, all rusty rebar and garbage, pulled it all out of there, trimmed some of that off of there. New outlet cover on that. This needs to be painted. This was buried in the backyard for some reason. It was in the brick. It was like set in there. I don't know why. It was crooked. Whatever. It's not in there anymore. Actually, the patina of it from being buried was kind of cool, so I just put some sticks in there. I had some digging that destroyed that. These were all in pots. These pretty ones I put here. Oh, I'm still not getting digging here. Sort of a drain was added. Did I get a bee inside of that screen? Ah! Fucking bees. It looks like one is actually inside there somehow. Shit. Okay. I mean, I have the drain added, so yeah. The bees are scary. That's not too bad. The 3 bees I can handle, but when it gets more than that, I don't like it. This is my new cistern area. It's really cleaned up nicely here. We've got the switch. Just starts a sump pump here. Water comes out there eventually. That's a long hose. There we go. Rabbits have just ravished that, and that looks dead. There's more digging going on here. This I have on a timer now, so it only comes on during the day. I just want to kill a couple flies. There's a bunch of poop there. Yeah, I don't know what's up with this digging. I think I have one more thing that needs to be trapped here. I don't know why this has to keep going. I filled these all in yesterday, and they're bad again. That front area, again, was all, it was brick. There was nothing in there, like those 2 ugly trees. And there was like those entrances to a ranch, like a mini version of that, but all rotten and falling over, and then all these like string lights and mismatched crap, and I pulled all that out of there. All the pots that they had with plants in them, I put them all in here. Unfortunately, the rabbit has gotten to a lot of this. I really don't want wires around everything here, so this stuff is just going to have to duke it out. So I will either get replacement plants that the rabbits don't like. That thing unfortunately died, but the rabbits probably would have eaten it anyway. This thing I had about 3 things here, and they would eat it, and then eventually they'd pull the thing out of there and throw it next to the hole, so I just have to pick that up and throw it away. Otherwise, I'm going to look for a couple little metal statue thingies to put out here instead of the plants. I'm not going to be at constant war with these goddamn rabbits. So, and they are jackrabbits, so the dog cannot catch them. He is not a greyhound. He will catch a cottontail, but he can't quite get a jackrabbit. Probably will get one of these days. They're not too careful. So yeah, that's all clean. And that pile there is just a dead Ocatilia that's fallen over. So I have a new hose. And the only thing that's made it is the basil. Everything else either shriveled up and died, or the zinnias were going nice, but then something snipped the tops off all of them. These little guys were actually I found them laying on the ground again. There were 3 of them, and at one point I found one laying on the ledge and I put it back. And then I was gonna get ready to throw these pots back over there in the gardening area, and I found them laying on the ground, so I put them back in here. It's possible the wind blew them out of there. I think birds just like to pull that out of there. I'm not sure why nothing's touching the basil, but I'm happy to have that thing. So this is all done. This is very nice. That is done in the sun. So this whole little patio area was redone over here because it actually cupped and came uphill here. I actually at one point, we just gave up trying to do this by hand and called a guy with a great big bucket and a gravel dump truck and pulled out like 4 massive gravel trucks of dirt. This was piled high with dirt. There was 2 of these loose bricks here, and this was mounded up with dirt. So all of this actually drained back into the patio. This was probably like a foot higher here. So if you wanted to use the hose, any place you used it, you would just make like a little mud pool, and there's no way to rinse it off. And here again, I don't even have to rinse it off because the wind does the work for me. When it blows, it cleans everything off, and everything is downhill from the patio. So it's very easy to maintain, stays very clean. I just need 2 trees here. Not sure what I'm gonna put there yet. Wait another couple weeks. This is my big moat of nothing. So in theory, nothing should want to cross over here because you're in danger if you're a small rodent or something of being picked off, exposed out there. The eucalyptus made it. I'm not sure. It seems like I should try to do something to that so it could stand up a little better against the wind, but I'm not sure what. I'm guessing cutting the top of it off is not a good idea, but we'll just have to see how that's going. That came back, cactuses. I got a whirligig, and I'm just gonna put that nice aloe there, and then I'm just gonna I'm gonna mirror what's over there on the right and just have another fan palm and another tall palm over here. And then I'll decide what to do in those couple other holes. I put a couple little trinkets up here. I don't know. New drain cover, new shower. I got a little shower bench. When I was working out here, I'd work till I was just about dead and then just sit with my clothes on under the shower and cool off. This was a nasty fountain, I guess would be the kind term for it. It was kind of just a really ugly garbage pile. It was 2 kind of farm buckets and just 8 different kinds of mismatched rock dumped here. And then this really questionable and unsafe taped together electric cord. And then I guess you would put water in it and plug it in and get drunk and just let it run, so that this was all like undermined here and the water was starting to go under this patio here. So I tried to get this all graded to the middle so when it does rain, or if I want to rinse off here a little bit, this will just drain down here into these roots of this tree and this won't be a problem anymore. Got some new furniture, hung my stuff out. I'm waiting to have this place painted, so I'm not going too nuts out here. I don't want a bunch of old lace stuff out here anyway. The grill, garbage. I'm gonna sew a cute little cover for the paper towels because otherwise the wind unrolls it. I had something done to that faucet. I don't remember what. I think it just came loose and they cleaned it up and put it back on. My new pergola, still going strong. The new furniture, the dogs area. So the bad thing is we came out here one night and in retrospect, I think I saw something lay here and I thought it was one of these. I just thought it was one of these laying there. And it was actually a baby rattlesnake, just about, not even as big around as a regular pencil and about 12 inches long, like stretched out. And the dog had never seen a snake. It came over here and he wasn't even chasing it or trying to play with it. He just wanted to look at it and it got him right in the left side of the jaw. So we had a very bad 6 hours. There's not an emergency vet. I guess there's 3 in like Mexicali, but I didn't know where they were or how bad it was. I mean, obviously it looked pretty bad, but he made it. We went to the vet in the morning. They just gave him some antibiotics at that point. The swelling actually went down in a day. I guess baby rattlesnakes are very dangerous because they will wander into the most odd and random places and they don't flee or control their venom like an adult snake would. And then a couple days later he came out here and there was another one. At this point it was like 2 feet long right in front of the patio door. So I killed both of them. I tried to decapitate them with a flathead shovel, which is what the internet told me to do. That doesn't really work. The shovel is not sharp enough or whatever. So there's all irrigation in there now. I know I'm forgetting like a whole bunch of stuff. It's my smoker. This is where I do my Circus Olay. And then I do my parkour up there. You can go up there. Still got 50% tank of propane. I've been going nuts like grilling and it just like hardly ever goes down. I think this latch is a little bit tight. I haven't quite figured out the trick for it. So I do have a new filter. I have a new spin down filter, which yes, I need to clean. I'm using the bucket right now, but I will get to that. And a new UV filter. And I did test the water. And it's negative for bacteria, and there's a alarm in there too, in case that something happens. The floor there is actually broken, like the ceiling of the cistern. This is, I don't know where I am, but starting over here, that's actually the ceiling of the cistern, and it like slumped down, and it was filled in from the top, but I just try not to stand over there. So the whole cistern is brand new. Obviously, these little entrances are brand new. This little, you can come back out. This little spot was kind of just left over, so we put astroturf in there. Otherwise, junk kind of falls in there. So this is very heavy. It looks like I'm still recording though. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's all brand new. And that special paint, it's not pool paint. Pool paint is toxic. This is actually special cistern paint, so it's very clean in there. And I just had it filled. This also was like a 1.5 foot drop off here. So, I mean, and this one's not set in mortar, so I guess you're not supposed to drive on here, but how stupid is that? I just had this, I put like a bunch of blocks over there where rocks, stones, whatever, where it kind of was starting to tilt and peel. And the rest of this I just had like extra dirt dumped here. And now, I mean, you probably shouldn't be driving on here, but you know, in an emergency, it's nice to have a second exit from the house. So, and this does go out to the road there. My spare rock washes. Because I will have to dig 4 big holes. So I might get 4 kind of bigger trees. I still have to think about that. I dig up and make a huge mess, but have 4 bigger trees, or have 4 of these little small guys and have to wait years and years for them to grow. I don't know. Zen rake. You can come out here and practice putting and sit here and read a book. It's very windy out here. I still haven't taken the plastic off here. I have laid out here a couple of days. It's 97, 50% humidity. It's really nice. The clouds make it beautiful. I was really sad because that's why I made the video yesterday, because the clouds were so pretty. And then this morning I was like, they're gone. It's just going to be a blank sky, but actually it's still pretty nice. I don't know if I forgot anything. I did put all new, some weird boogery material. I did put all new dusted on, low wattage, very yellow, like 2600 light bulbs out here. But I have the feeling that maybe I was causing a problem and they're attracting stuff, so I ordered actually bug lights. And I'm mostly gonna leave the lights off, I think, but I do especially like these on at night, because when you're in the house, it makes this all look like another room. It just feels like huge, and these couple of solar lights I added. This thing, the like awning poles snapped off from the wind. We had a couple of winds like over 30 miles an hour here. I did get an inversion table to help stretch my back out. I'm just gonna flip those over and put a pin in them. I can still use the awning, but I gotta figure out a place to store it. It's just very awkward. I don't, when I bought that, I thought it would retract or something, and it does not. So, yeah, if you can't parkour back up there, there's a ladder. But on the other side, it's not quite so high, so you do have to just flip your body back up here. Okay. Other than that one worldwide outage, the internet's been very good. Just had really no problems with it. That looks very clean. So this is the highways over there and the sea. And then you would head north to Mexicali. Ensenada would be over there. The mountains. One of these is El Diablo. I think it might be that tall one. Whatever one you'd say is the tallest, I don't know. It seems like that one probably. There should be like campgrounds and parks up there. You don't see any of those little trails or roads like you do all over Phoenix. Like, nobody does that here. I don't know. Doesn't look like a thing in Phoenix where like you have a holiday week and you're like, I'll just go climb up a mountain. That'll be a thing I do after a holiday. And I don't know, people just don't do that here. Anyway, so that's Selfish, and then that would be San Felipe, maybe 17 miles that way. So that's the yard. Look how nice that driveway is. It's so clean. So just, oh my gosh, compared to what and just having the wind blow like this now, you don't see anything piling up here. It's just very easy to take care of because it's so clean. It's designed to be clean and stay clean. Kind of wanted to get rid of that Palo Verde. That Palo Verde grows in a big round ball, so that should be as big around as it is tall, and they don't even usually get that tall, so that is a big ass Palo Verde, but there's not room for that to do that here, so some of the branches are broken off too, so you just end up trying to work with what's there, which is just kind of weird and awkward, but we'll leave it for now. And technically, I believe that is an Our Lady of Guadalupe, but I think that's the same thing as a Mary. I think all the ladies are Marys, but I believe that is Our Lady of Guadalupe. So, yeah. I wanted to take the camera out onto the beach, but like I don't want to carry it the whole way because that's right now, that is my main exercise, because after the yard was done, I started going to water aerobics because I was so used to getting up so early and just going like gonzo that I just kind of kept going. And then the last day this regular lady was there, it was so crowded and the sun was so bad and I just felt so crispy and annoyed afterwards. And she wants you to like walk backwards for like ages, and I accidentally like touched a man doing that, and I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna slam into someone. If I want to walk backwards, I can do it somewhere that's not around other people. That road doesn't go anywhere. It just makes a little loop and comes back here. The pergola is all brand new. I have to remember that one that was torn down was just a flimsy wooden structure with some rags on top that was leaning over and collapsing and about ready to kill someone. This will never go anywhere. The fronds will eventually deteriorate, but any other kind of roof can be put on here. Even tile could be put on here or something, but I really wanted the look of this beachy pergola. They're usually round, so it's kind of weird. That's why I think the corners, it was hard to cover on the corners, because normally these are round. I didn't think about that. It seemed like it'd be easier to make a square one, but I imagine this is a weird material to work with. I think the dog is just ready to go in. He's kind of fat. I am down 15 pounds without even trying, and eating and eating and eating and eating. I mean, during the worst of the yard work, I just ate grocery store ice cream like 3 times a day. I've stopped doing that now, but yeah, down a full 15 pounds. That's awesome. I got to keep going. So we're getting a good walk in every morning. Beach walk every morning. I've only missed 1 day per month the whole time I've been here. It's usually just if I wake up 7:30 and it's just already way past 90 and there's just kind of no way. So that's the only excuse we have. The rest of the time we get up and go. Whew, it's so nice out here. I've laid out here and read a book a couple times. Oh my God, I could like do that right now, but I'm going to try to get some work done. I'm going to go take some creatine and try to get all jazzed up and get a little something done in there. I know. I owe the dog a bath too, so yeah, I got a little bit of stuff. I still have those 2 boxes to unpack. I have got a little bit of miscellaneous to do before I can do that, because it's all kitchen stuff. I've got those 2 slider door blinds to hang up, and the hardware needs to be painted, so that's why that's not done. And I want to rebuild both the toilets. The one, I mean, I guess it's fine, but I just wish it had dual flush, because I've been using the other one that does have dual flush, and that one is leaking out the base, which is not great. And I don't see any cracks in it, so I'm hoping just it's a matter of a wax ring. Otherwise, I'll have to get a new toilet. But my plan is to rebuild the whole tank of the good toilet and then just rip that other thing apart and see what's up with that. If I have to get a new toilet, that's going to be a trip to Home Depot, which I'm not looking forward to. But I suppose at some point I'm going to have to go. If I go, I'll get a bunch of paint samples, because I might want to paint the inside too, and I can start thinking about that. I'd at least like to get the ceiling done. Right now it's painted the wall color, and it has like a beautiful molding, so the whole house would look better if it was white, but white would be like way too white. It's got to be some really yellowy, dingy white, so I have to pick something out. I think that cloud is the same cloud from yesterday, because I took a still photo yesterday when I tried to do the video, and when I looked at it later, that cloud was sticking straight up out of the house, like it was coming out of the chimney or something. Weird. I never did get the tropical storm Lorna or whatever. I had a lot of wind and rain a couple days previous, but That was due to hit Cabo anyway. It's not going to come up here. I'm very far. I'm just in the middle of nowhere, so... yeah, I really have not had any of those. I don't know. Yeah, that one day with the internet out, it was about all the drama that we had besides the terrible snake bite. And then after the snakes, I started checking out here, like, just in this, like, really paranoid fashion with a flashlight. And I bought a flashlight. And then I bought a bigger flashlight. So I check out here real carefully before I let the dog out. And that one night, and I check here first, make sure it's okay, let him on the patio, but then I also check it because he's going to go to the bathroom outside by those 2 rocks. And there's a massive hairy tarantula out there. And some other spider just as big as that, but like kind of skinny and naked with no hair. I don't even know what that was. The tarantula was polite and it was happy to leave. I mean, I don't think it wanted to leave. And that's when I started turning the lights off. I'm just like, you know what? I think the lights are a bad idea. I'm pretty sure I had a bat just swooping back and forth continuously because of the budwhacker. Yeah, it's been quiet though. I got, just this stuff to do in the house, and I've got to go to my bank here and change my address because I did sell the Arizona house. It's closed and gone, and then the United States made a baseless accusation against Intercam here, and so there's no way to do transfers from the U.S. to Intercam anymore, and so they actually got bought out by a smaller B2B bank. I don't know what's going to go on with that, and they say they have like AI for money laundering, so I'm figuring the first time I transfer money, I'll just end up with all of my accounts frozen, so I have to go to the real Mexican bank where nobody speaks English and try to open an account there, so I don't want to do that on Monday, but probably Tuesday or Wednesday I gotta force myself to go, because I did ask my references. You have to have references to open a bank account here, so I just asked some people, and now I have to go actually do it while it's fresh in my mind. So I have all the paperwork from the first bank, so I should be able to kind of match up the forms pretty good. And all I have to do is watch to make sure they're not trying to sell me some like bullshit insurance policy, which is a scam that they'll try to do, and then they'll downgrade your account if you don't take it. It's just like, it's a horrible bank. It has very bad reviews. There's a reason why everybody went to Intercam. It was just really a nice bank. I used to be really stressed out if I ever had to actually go into the bank, but I actually started liking going to Intercam. It was just like really pleasant, professional place. Restored my faith in person-to-person banking. But now, I have to go to this other place. I'm just absolutely dreading it. And okay. But I have to do it, so I gotta do that. I gotta go out tomorrow and get grub, because we're out of grub. We got no grub. And the dog has grub, but I have like nothing. I'm really out of food. And then do that other stuff. And I owe the dog a bath, and I gotta check and see how long it's been. Probably another 2 weeks. I'll go and get him the rattlesnake vaccine, and then he's got to go and get another one after a month, and then annually he has to get a booster, and that should tone down his reaction to any of these venomous things, which hopefully won't happen again. I mean, I marked that on my calendar, and I guess I know when the baby snakes are out, and there's nothing here. There's no water, there's no food, there's no crumbs. There's just nothing to attract anything in here. So, like, this is supposed to be our safe, clean space. I just don't want anything in here. I mean, I think, and those gates have, like, snake fencing on them. I can put sweeps on them, I guess. But, I mean, that is a small space for something to be getting in here. I mean, there's just, I don't want to mar up my new gate, but I suppose if I take out those 2 rows of bottom screws, I could just tuck a little hunk of a rubber up in there. What I'm thinking of doing is waiting till I'm done with the door trim And then maybe I'll have two hunks long enough where I could just use what I would usually do on these gates, because in previous places my gate gap was a lot worse than that and much more uneven. It was, I would get some very thick like real heavy like pond liner material, but very, very, very thick natural rubber. And I would cut little pieces and make my own sweep. But I mean, the minimum you have to buy that stuff is just ginormous. And usually when I bought it, I was making a raised garden bed and I would use it for that. And then I would use the leftovers. So what I need is like a leftover hunk of a real nice heavy natural rubber to make a little sweep for that. I'll figure something out. I mean, since those 3 glue traps, I haven't seen anything. I have those holes in the front, so obviously I do need to trap once more out there. I should put those 2 traps out there again and see if I can't. I mean, it's hard to imagine something digging that big of a hole. And the ones I filled in yesterday, I mean, there had to be like over 20 of those holes, and they're quite deep. And those rocks are, I don't know. I can't imagine that little gray mouse doing that. And why? There's, I don't know. This is meant to be just very inhospitable. And when I flood that whole trench with water to water that stuff, there's nothing in there. There's one tiny scorpion on that side and one tiny scorpion on the other side and one tiny lizard and literally nothing else. There's nothing living in here. I mean, I thought maybe those shady rocks would have a little bit of dampness and maybe something would live in there, but there is nothing living in there. It's really another beautiful day. 98 though, and I do have stuff I should be doing. So I suppose I better get up and do it. I feel like I forgot a whole bunch more stuff again. I know. Oh, the drain. Before that was topped off with actually hand-sifted builder's sand. Like the labor that went into that was just like insane. But before that, every time the wind would blow, it got so dirty and dusty here. The windows were covered, the windows, the doors, everything. And just like you can see now, like there's, like you can hardly see, there's hardly anything on here. And I haven't cleaned out here in over a week. And it's been windy, 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 windy. So that stuff is heavy and it doesn't blow around. So it really keeps the dust down. It's just amazing. It's staying so nice out here. We just got to make it like 2 more weeks till it starts to cool down a little bit. There was one day this week I was actually able to get up and open all the windows before I went for a walk. It was like 78 or something. It's just incredible. It's really, really nice. What a difference. Oh, yeah, that little bit of moisture in the air makes all the difference. Oh, and of course, it gets 98 instead of 112, so that makes a big difference, too. Yeah. What is that? That's like almost 15 degrees cooler than it would have been. Yeah. I'm going to take the camera to the beach, but I don't want to hold it. What I could do is I could hold both arms up in the air like this the whole time for added aerobics. But I enjoy that part of the day so much, I'm just not sure if I want to. So I'm thinking about strapping it maybe to my hat or something. I probably should just hold both arms up. Oh well, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Depends just on what time I get up. If it's like 6-ish and we can get there before 6:30, that seems like a good day. But if it gets a little bit later, then we just got to concentrate on getting our walk over with before it gets too hot for the dog. The sun's still pretty intense. I got a wind chime. I'm not sure why. I don't really like wind chimes, but there it is. I thought maybe it would help scare things away at night or something. I'm not sure. Are you ready to go in? Should we just go in and drink water? Yeah, we're going to go in and drink water, and we're going to hope to hell this thing saves the file this time. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, good luck.